Hey everyone, this is Lakshmi. Welcome to our new YouTube session from Everyone Who Codes community. As your expert recruiter, I'm dedicated to solving hiring challenges and connecting top talent with companies, building strong teams to drive success. So, today, join me on this journey as we explore insights from industry experts. Today, I'm excited to kick off the series with Arvind Telharkar, our next engineering expert. Arvind, could you please share a short intro for our audience?
Yeah. Hi, everyone. My name is Arvind. I have 8 years of experience as a software engineer. I have lived, studied, and worked in three countries: India, USA, and Canada. Uh, I recently had 5.5 years of experience at Amazon. And before that, I worked at Citrix. So my expertise is basically in back-end software development. And I've recently moved up to Vancouver, Canada for exploring other opportunities.
Okay, awesome. Thanks for sharing your intro, Arvind. So, before Arvind, we are very excited to have you as our expert speaker today. Happy to welcome to our channel. Today, we are going to be talking about a topic which is a challenge many engineers face: landing opportunities due to not having much experience after their graduation. So, this is a crucial topic because a well crafted resume can make all the difference. We are here to simplify the process and show you how to create a winning resume, especially for new grads and software engineers with 0 to 2 years of experience. So I know Arvind is a perfect person to talk to since he is an expert in this area. Arvind will walk us through what to highlight, how to showcase your skills effectively in your resume, and tips to boost the chances of getting interviews in this market. So let's get started. So I have the first question for you, Arvind. Why is it that important to keep your resume to just one page, especially for those who are early in their careers or just graduated?
Yeah, it is quite important to keep your resume to one page. It is a standard across the industry. Uh, and if you ask me why, I would start off by understanding what a resume is actually in reality. A resume is, in my opinion, it's like a handshake. So when you meet a person and when you introduce yourself, you handshake, you tell your name, and you tell that, okay, I'm so and so.
Mhm.
You don't tell your entire life story or your entire series of accomplishments that you have had, right? So that is exactly what a resume is, and you are basically having a handshake with a employer who doesn't know you, and you want to highlight your skills and what you bring to the table uh,
Mhm.
as concisely and as clearly as you can. So I think keeping it to one page really helps. And I would also switch roles and imagine stepping into the roles of somebody who is reading your resume.
Mhm.
Would I like to read 2 or 3 pages
Mhm.
of somebody's career who I am not even sure whether I'm going to proceed with or not for
Okay.
candidacy? So I
Mhm.
think keeping it to one page is therefore right.
Okay. 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 So is it okay if we can make it to 2 pages, maybe for a candidate who has around 2 years of experience? Or do you even think a one page is best for them?
I would say, in my opinion, anywhere from 0 to 10 years should be one
Hmm.
page.
Oh,
Beyond
just
that,
one
you
page.
might, yeah,
Ah.
just one page, and you might want to highlight and bring up the most relevant pieces of work experience at the top, and
Hmm.
then if you have a lot of experience, you can have a summary section where you summarize
Hmm.
everything else, which
Okay.
is which is important, but still not really the most important thing.
Hmm.
So,
Okay.
but definitely for somebody who is just graduating out of school or even has a
Hmm.
couple of work experience under their belt, couple of
Yes.
years of experience, uh, you should be able to fit it in one page. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So you did talk about highlighting your skills, right, on a resume. So could you talk in detail? How do they go about highlighting that on a resume and with
Yeah.
respect to their work experience? Yeah.
It should be fairly straightforward to look at your resume. Like
Hmm.
anybody who reads your resume should be instantly able to tell what areas you have expertise in. Like I would
Okay.
personally recommend having like a separate section at the
Mm-hmm.
top of the resume where you say what are the languages that you've worked in, what are the other technologies you've used, for example, AWS, Azure,
Mm-hmm.
or any other automation tools apart from programming languages. That really helps because sometimes
Mm-hmm.
uh, employers or anybody who is hiring, they are looking for a specific skill set. So, for example, if I'm hiring for something which requires C++ background,
Yeah.
so if I get to see C++ right at the top of your resume, uh,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
that gets me interested, and
Yes.
I go on and I explore what has this person done. So if you can really highlight
Mm-hmm.
a technical skills section where
Okay.
you write everything in brief,
Mm-hmm.
that really helps to fast track the process. So
Okay.
I
Okay.
would highly recommend that.
Okay, okay, awesome. So and then is that possible that you can divide them by categories, like, programming languages, frameworks, tools? Yes.
Certainly, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Because software engineers, they need a diverse set of skills. You can't just say that I only know how to code in Python or I
Right.
just know C++ or just
Mm-hmm.
Java. You have to work with
Mm-hmm.
a suite of other tools where
Mm-hmm.
you're working with AWS, or
Mm-hmm.
you're working with GCP or Azure, or maybe you are
Mm-hmm.
also using automation tools, uh,
Okay.
Chef, Puppet, Ansible, lots of things like CI/CD. There is a
Mm-hmm.
ton of tools available there. So all like people generally need a combination of all of these tools apart from
Mm-hmm.
languages. So it's
Mm-hmm.
important to clearly highlight each category and what areas you have expertise in.
Okay, okay. So another important question would be for new graduates. They definitely need to focus on describing their personal projects. So how do they go about with that on a resume?
Yeah, so if you don't have experience,
Mhm.
definitely you would need to have projects,
Yes. Mhm.
ideally with GitHub links.
Mhm.
Uh, and when you showcase anything on your resume with a GitHub link, it is good to have like a good README if anybody actually goes to that link and sees what you have
Mhm.
tried to do. They should be able to get a sense of professionalism. Like how do you
Right.
document things? How what is your style of working? What are the
Mhm.
artifacts that you produce?
Right.
So whatever you have showcased on your resume, how does that look in reality? And
Mhm.
uh, again, coming back to the technologies part, you should also try to clearly highlight how did you use a technology. Like for
Mhm.
example, let's say if you have done a project with AWS DynamoDB for
Mhm.
storage, or with AWS Lambda. So there are two things which you can highlight with a project, like what is the use case, like where have you used it, and then how have you used it. Like there
Mhm.
are two things. So uh, if you have highlighted these two things in a proper way,
Mhm.
that tells the interviewer or anybody who is looking at your resume that not only does this person know how to use this, but they also
Mhm.
know when to use it. Because I think that's very important, because these tools or any technology is not applicable anywhere. You first need a person who knows where to use it.
Right.
So if in the project description, if you can highlight how you have used and where you have used. So if you have used DynamoDB for backend storage, or for some
Mhm.
image upload trigger, you have used Lambda, something like that. Like uh, that really helps.
Okay. Okay. Got it. Okay. So what about for new grads, like new, as we've been talking about, for new grads who have no experience, how do you increase the chances of getting an interview call?
Yeah. So I know there are lots of tools on the internet where you can optimize for
Hmm.
ATS score and things like that. But if you ask me, the best way to do is through a referral. If
Oh,
you
okay.
can get someone to refer you,
Hmm.
because as a new grad, you don't have experience. So
Hmm.
if you have a alumni of your school, or somebody within your network that knows you really well, and when I say referral, I'm not just to clarify. Uh, in today's job market, it is quite competitive. So
Hmm.
if you can really get your resume in someone's hands where they can actually talk to the hiring manager and say that hey, I have this new graduate who's really good with this technology. They are fast at learning things, and you might want to talk to them and see if they are a good fit. So that really, I think, helps. That is the fastest way.
Hmm.
Apart from that, if you cannot get a referral, then uh, following the best practices and just being patient with the application process is the only way to go.
Yeah. So now you were talking about referral. Yes, I do understand referral will definitely boost the chances of, presenting it directly to the hiring manager. But, in this current economy, I see there is one job, but then hundreds of thousands of people applying for that role. So there could be multiple referrals. So would that also work? How do you think? I know at that point of time, I think the resume is what becomes very important, right?
Yes, like there is this ATS factor
Mm-hmm.
that comes into picture. So you
Okay.
definitely have to look at what your ATS score is. And I think there
Okay.
are, I think, lots of tools online like JobScan and like there are lots of tools. They are not free, but I
Mm-hmm.
think it's worth paying for them if you are hunting for a job in a market which is this competitive. So
Right.
definitely you should have a ATS score of 80 and above.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And like you need to have certain keywords on your resume
Mm-hmm.
uh, to increase your chances of going past the screening process. But at the same time, I also want to
Mm-hmm.
like to I would also like to highlight that you should be careful not to dump in too many keywords on your resume which are irrelevant, because
Mm-hmm.
after you get past the screening stage, your resume is
Mm.
going to go in the hands of a human being. And
Right.
if you have 100 keywords on your resume,
Mm.
and
Yeah.
it is easy to see through that this person has no work experience, and do you
Mm.
really have these many keywords on your resume that you have
Mhm.
expertise in? So it's important to strike a balance, I feel.
Right.
And again, circling back to your referral point,
Mm-hmm.
uh, the referral that I was talking about was really like a very strong referral. Uh,
Mm.
uh, there is a referral system pretty much every company, and many times the referral doesn't work out as
Right.
effectively as people expect it to. So like the referral should be really with someone who you know and who
Mm-hmm.
can really help you out. Uh,
Okay.
that is what I would
Okay.
expect.
Okay. Got it. Yes. Okay. And, coming to, I know we do talk about accomplishments, right? Which is very important to be included in a resume. So could you talk to me more into that?
Yeah, sure. So any kind of accomplishment that you write, you have to
Mm-hmm.
be very careful about how relevant your accomplishment is for the role.
Mm-hmm.
So for tech jobs, if you mention something which is well known in the industry, like ICPC or any other ACM related event, which is well known within the tech community, that really helps. Like
Mm-hmm.
anything which is intra college or intra university which nobody else knows outside your
Mm-hmm.
college, I would not consider showcasing that, because that doesn't really tell me anything uh,
Mm-hmm. Right.
apart from participation, that you participated in certain event and you won.
Mm.
But do I know how many people competed? No, I don't, right?
Right.
So but whereas if you have won
Okay.
a medal in ICPC or any other event which has international acclaim, that is a very good thing to showcase. But I think I would be very selective in general about accomplishments, uh, because ultimately it comes down to space on a resume.
Mm-hmm.
Space is at premium. I always say this. Uh, like even if you include a couple of sentences on your achievement section, do they really, like, is it really the best use of space on your resume? You could have highlighted a few more technical skills
Mm-hmm.
instead of doing that. So uh, I think it's about what value is your
Mm-hmm.
accomplishment bringing to the process. It's not, I mean, I'm not saying that your accomplishments are nothing, or
Yeah.
you know it's not really valuable, but I
Mm-hmm.
think the question that we need to answer is it valuable for the role or your resume?
Right. So thanks for going so much in detail and try to keep it relevant and, to the role, yeah, that you're applying, and so that it is a value addition to your
Mhm.
experience. Yes. So, okay, what about certifications? So, I know we do see a lot of people sharing a lot of certifications. It could be a online or could be a small diploma, college certification. So, what are those which have to be relevant, and what are those worth including in the resume?
So if the job description explicitly asks for a certification,
Mm-hmm.
then I think you should include it,
Okay.
because it is a part of the job
Mm-hmm.
requirement, right?
Yes.
So, like for example, I mean, this might be a slightly different example, but if you look at the
Mm-hmm.
jobs that United Nations has,
Mm-hmm.
they have very strong, they are very strict in terms of what they want. Like you
Mm-hmm.
need to have this certification,
Mm-hmm.
and then there is also more detail around that, like what level and all of those things. So in such scenarios, you would definitely need to have that.
Mm-hmm.
But if you are talking in terms of uh, big tech, uh,
Okay.
I wouldn't I wouldn't assume that it matters. Like certifications don't really matter when it comes to big tech hiring. And
Mm-hmm.
in most of the roles for the software industry, it does not matter unless the job description explicitly says that you need to be AWS certified or
Mm-hmm.
Azure certification or whatever, Microsoft. There are lots of certifications, and there are many people who ping me about this, that should I do this certification?
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
the question I ask them is that, first of all, is it free for you?
Yeah.
And it is not free. They are expensive, and
Mm.
they also expire. You need to keep renewing your certifications
Yes.
after a while.
Mm-hmm.
And is it really going to provide any return on investment? Like at
Mm-hmm.
the end of it, if you have to write code in a shared editor, and if the decision is going to be based on your
Mm-hmm.
coding skills,
Right.
how you solve problems, certifications might not be relevant for everyone. But
Mm-hmm.
again, if the job description lists, then yes.
Yes, yes, yes. Okay. So, yeah, thanks for sharing deep insights into this area also of certifications. I know we've been talking a lot about what to highlight in a resume. So, could you talk about more in detail? What about for engineers who have less than 2 years of experience?
Yeah, so less than 2 years is basically you are treated at the level of a new grad. Like
Okay.
because
Mm-hmm.
2 years and above, you will be considered as some beginner level software engineer. But
Mm-hmm.
less than 2 years, I would say it's the same as a new grad.
Mm-hmm.
So it's important to highlight university level projects that you have done.
Okay.
So
Mm-hmm.
uh, I would suggest that if you are in university or if you are studying, and if you get the chance to work on an interesting project, never leave
Mm-hmm.
it. Because if you are getting to learn something new in the
Mm-hmm.
process,
Mm-hmm.
you can later on showcase that on your resume, because you're going to be hunting for jobs when you graduate.
Mm-hmm.
And showing that you have learned something and really used it to build something useful
Mm-hmm.
is a really good thing to have on your resume. And then again, as I said before, like just to reiterate, clearly, showing and showcasing how you have used certain technology to build something is
Mm-hmm.
important.
Okay. Okay. So this is where the projects that you have built that comes, those are very important at this point of time. Like for someone worked, who have 0 to 2 years of experience. Okay.
Absolutely.
Yes. Okay. I know a lot about GitHub. Yes. So I know people, software engineers who have GitHub, but they've not been very consistent. So I do see them, using that or building maybe every other month or something. They are very, very passive, not really actively using GitHub. So what do you want to say for people like that? So do they have to add those GitHub links to the resume, or is there something?
Not necessary, not
Mm-hmm.
necessary. But if you have the links, like
Mm-hmm.
if you have given the link, then
Mm-hmm.
the artifacts that you're putting there, they should be, well documented, and it
Mm-hmm.
should it should be professional. Like it should look
Mm-hmm.
professional.
Okay.
There is no requirement. I've never heard anyone say that why have you not given your GitHub link here.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but if you are giving it, then it
Mm-hmm.
should be properly documented. That's what I would say.
Okay.
And if I actually open that link, and if I go to your GitHub project repo,
Mm-hmm.
if I look at some of the code that you have written, you are indirectly telling me how you code before I
Mm-hmm.
even talk to you, right?
Yes. Yes.
And if you have files which are improperly named, or
Mm-hmm.
coding which is not following the best practices. Like if you have given variable names like foo and bar, I mean, people use GitHub for all sorts of things, right? You need not
Right.
showcase everything, but the things which you are showing me
Mm-hmm.
as a potential hire,
Mm-hmm.
they should be good.
Mm.
Otherwise, just don't put link.
Okay.
That's what
So
I
which
think.
means, is it okay if they're not being consistent? Is that okay? It,
Uh, yeah, I wouldn't count that as a very important factor, honestly. Yeah.
oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah, especially for, I mean, especially for big tech hiring. Now,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm not just talking about big tech here, but if you consider
Mm-hmm.
big tech hiring, a lot hinges on how you do in the coding interview, like
Okay.
as a new grad. Because
Mm-hmm.
as a new grad, you have clearly not designed systems
Mm-hmm.
like a senior engineer does. So a lot depends on how you implement things and whether you are able to implement quickly and correctly. So
Right.
uh, GitHub might be, again, like if you are trying to showcase your frequency of your commits, then it should highlight something positive about you. And then if I
Mm-hmm.
actually look at what you have committed, like just to, dig a dig one layer deep, uh, it should give me a good impression about uh, whatever you have been doing. So I think I would be careful there. If I'm going to showcase details about my GitHub profile, my
Mm-hmm.
GitHub profile should reflect best practices of coding, and it should look like you really know what you're doing, like not just uh, winging it.
Got it.
For
Got it. Got it. Yes. 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 So if you're including the GitHub link, be very clear about it should showcase your expertise, right? Other than that, I do see that candidates also show their portfolio websites. So does that also boost their chances of getting an interview?
I wouldn't think so. It's good to
Mm-hmm.
have, like, if you want to show someone quickly what you have done, what you have been doing, it's a
Mm-hmm.
great way to showcase. So yeah, I would absolutely love to see a portfolio website for somebody who is being considered for an interview. But does that boost your chances? I wouldn't think so.
Okay. 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 Um, Fine. So, coming, to the next question, is there something like, are there any other do's or don'ts in a resume for new grads?
So I think we did cover some of the do's and don'ts.
Yeah, we
I
did.
think
Mhm.
it is in
Is it?
with a resume, it is easier to pinpoint the don'ts rather than
Mm-hmm.
the do's, because there are lots of ways in which you can structure your resume, and there is no right or wrong there really. But
Mm-hmm.
there are a few things you would avoid. Like first of all, avoid going beyond one page. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
Showcase your technical skills clearly. Avoid writing long sentences.
Right.
Uh, I have also seen some resumes where every single line is some kind of improvement. Like it just gets bulky and bulky and bulky. Like you can't
Mm-hmm.
fit everything in one page then. Where you have improved latency by 10%, you have increased productivity by 30%, things like that. Uh, I don't think personally it provides a lot of value in
Mm-hmm.
the screening process, honestly. Those are the types of things which you can talk in the interview. Like you can talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, the don't here would be don't write everything that you have done. Like you should have something to talk about when you actually face the
Mm-hmm.
interviewer. Uh, the interviewer should have some questions after talking to you. So
Right.
keep it short and simple. Don't include
Mm-hmm.
everything. Uh, Again, achievements and I think accomplishments we discussed earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Like only include the accomplishment if it is really, really special.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, I would consider reusing the space for your technical skills and showcasing other things that you have to offer. Uh, I think resume is basically an indirect test of your communication skills in some way.
Mm-hmm.
So I would treat it that way. Like how concisely and how clearly can you communicate? Like
Mm-hmm.
as I said, it's a handshake. So
Right.
um, I would also avoid listing hobbies. People list
Mm-hmm.
hobbies on their resume. Again, hobbies are like, do you really want to tell what your hobby is to the employer? Like that you are yet to interview with. Like you are not even employed with them yet. So uh, I would consider cutting out that.
Mm-hmm.
Anything that is irrelevant to the role, I
Mm-hmm.
would consider cutting out. So yeah.
Okay. 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 I think we more or less covered everything. Finally, I have a question for you. I know I do see a lot of software engineers, they build apps and it is already floated online. They have real users and it's going well. They may have maybe 5 users or 10 users, whatever it is, but it's doing well. So, what do you have to say about that? Will that also show an expertise that they can, it can move to an interview with an hiring manager?
I think that definitely helps you to
Mm-hmm.
stand out, because if you
Okay.
can build something without any experience, if you have built something in school
Mm-hmm.
that is being used by real customers
Yes.
and is valuable to the real world, and even though it's on a small scale, even if you say it has like 100 users or 1,000 users, that is still a statement about your ability to create a product out
Mm-hmm.
of just as a student. So can you take requirements and create a product out of it? Answer is yes, if you have
Mm-hmm.
done that already. And then that also shows that you understand what customers need, and you know how to build it, even if it
Mm-hmm.
is not done in a perfect way. It has some usage and there is potential, so that definitely helps stand out. Yeah.
Awesome, awesome. Yes. I think we have really covered a lot and looks like so. Thank you so much, Arvind, for these invaluable insights on how to craft a resume and to land opportunities, in this economy. And I'm sure our viewers would have definitely got a lot of information and they would have found the session really helpful. So, hi, Arvind. Do you have something for our audience?
Yeah, Lakshmi, first of all, thank you for having me, and I'm happy to chat. I would just say, for anyone who is looking for a job in today's market, it is competitive, but don't lose hope. Stay persistent, uh,
Mhm.
keep striving, and you will succeed.
Yeah, awesome. Yes. So I'm so happy to be offering this to my community. Don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel so that others can benefit too. We have more expert sessions coming up, and so stay tuned. Thanks for watching, and until next time, keep learning and keep growing. Bye for now. So these are the key takeaways with this session. So keep the resume concise, limit your resume to 1 page. You should concisely highlight your skills, not tell your whole life story. Showcase key skills. Employees want to quickly see what expertise you bring to the table. Add the specific skill at the top of the page and highlight it. Selective accomplishments. Highlight major accomplishments that are recognized in the industry and are relevant to the job. Projects and GitHub. If you lack experience, focus on projects. Ensure your project repos and coding practices on GitHub are clean and professional as they reflect your coding skills. Referral advantage. If you have someone in your alumni network or a connection who can speak to the hiring manager on your behalf, it can significantly improve your chances by presenting you as a strong candidate for the role. Stand out. If you have created something in school that's being used by real customers, be sure to include it. This highlights your expertise to develop practical solutions and understand customer needs, which demonstrates real world impact and will make you stand out. Remember that the resume is meant to give you an interview, not the job. So keep it concise. You should have something interesting to talk in the interview, which goes way beyond your resume. So this is the resume which got Arvind into Amazon when he interviewed for an SD role in 2018. This completes the session. Until we meet again, keep learning, keep growing. Bye for now.